Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, I'm your host, Mrs. M. And if you haven't, make sure you click the link below. That way you can subscribe to my channel and not miss out on anything you need to actually scale your cleaning business to six figures and beyond. Pow! So in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about bidding. I get so many questions on bidding. So I'm going to kind of give you a formula that should work each and every time. The first thing you must figure out is the square footage. So there's several ways you can do that. Via app, old-fashioned way where you can actually do the measuring. You can use a laser to gather the square footage. But the very first thing you need is the square footage of the location you're looking to provide the services. The next thing you need is to figure out from the square footage what the production rate is. The production rate could be anywhere from 2,200, which is how long it takes one person to do per man hours or per hour, or it could be as high as 3,600. It depends on the type of building. If the building is very dense, which means there's a lot of people in there, the production rate could be slower or lower. If there is very few amount of people and it's pretty open and it's not as many little corners and things you have to go around, the production rate could be higher. So you want to figure out what the production rate is. The average is around 2,200, and that of course depends on the age of the building, the floor, what type of floor, carpet, whether it's VCT tile, all that goes into effect. Now you know what the square footage is, and you know what your production rate is. Now you need to figure out what your man hours are going to be. So once you figure out what your man hours are, you know that it's going to take, let's say it's 20,000 square feet, and you're going to divide it into 2,200 to get what your man hours are. We always want to figure what our man hours are per month. Now you figured out that it is so many hours a day, let's say 5 hours a day, because you've done your division into your production rate, into the square footage. We know what the actual man hours are. Now we need to figure out how many times a week we're doing it. So let's say we're doing it 5 times a week. 5 hours times 5 gives us that certain amount. Now we know what our man hours are. Let's say 25 man hours per week. Now we need to figure out what it is per month. That's what you place your bid on. You bid in your proposal per month. So we say 25 times 4. Some people do 4.333. Some people do 4.2. But whatever you do, do not do 4.0. There is definitely more than 4 weeks in at least 3 months out of the year. So this is going to be the average. If it's a small amount, it may not matter. But I know when I've done some large and I didn't calculate it the right way, my normal instinct was to do times 4. That's not the case. Now you figured out what your man hours are. You definitely need to not pay under the table. That means you're going to pay the payroll tax. So depending on where you are, you might look at where it is Social Security, Medicare, unemployment for state, federal. These are called payroll taxes. Depending on where you are will be what percentage your payroll tax is. So for some places, it could be as high as 20%. Some it could be 12, some could be 15. I know for me, it's 15%. So I look at what my man hours are. I figure out what it is, how much it's going to take man hours per month. Then I look at what I'm going to pay my employees. Let's say I'm paying them $12. Then I'm going to take that amount, the man hours times the hours, the 12 hours, and I'm going to have a certain amount then. I'm going to take that amount, and then I'm going to figure out what my payroll tax is. So I'm going to times that by 15, then I'm going to have the amount that is. I'm going to take that amount, and then I am going to know what my total labor cost is. Once I've done that, I'm then going to move on to the step number 2, which is adding my overhead. That's going to include my labor. That's going to include my expenses, which are my cell phone, everything operational to run my business, insurance, training, advertising, supplies, all of that, uniforms, workman's comp, everything should be included in when it comes to my overhead. Now, some people put their workman's comp in their payroll taxes, but I don't. I actually add it in as overhead. Now I'm going to take what I've just come up with, which is my direct cost for my labor costs. I'm going to add that to the 30% or times it by 30, then take the 30% and add those two together. Now I've added my actual gross payroll cost with my payroll taxes, and I've added my 30% for my overhead, and last is going to be my 20% for my profit. Once you add this and you work on this formula again and again and again, then you should have a formula for bidding where you feel comfortable. If you want to learn more and break it down even more, then please make sure you click the link to come to my free masterclass, which is how to actually scale your cleaning business to 6 figures and beyond. How? And I'm going to show you how to do that within a year. If you want the exact blueprint that I use, I'd love to see you there. Click the link to register, and I will see you soon at the free masterclass. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.